Ukraine races to protect its energy lifelines ahead of Russia's winter strikes. Ukraine is bracing for a new wave of Russian assaults on its energy sector, seeking to avoid the devastating power outages that left much of the country in darkness during previous winters. Analysts and officials warn that Moscow is likely preparing large-scale strikes designed to cripple Ukraine's energy lifelines just as temperatures begin to plunge. Last year, Russian missile and drone attacks wiped out nearly 9 gigawatts of Ukraine's generation capacity, roughly half of its annual output, by destroying 8 thermal power plants and 5 hydroelectric stations. The destruction forced the country into rotating blackouts, pushing civilians to the edge during the coldest months. Although a partial ceasefire agreement in March shifted Russian targeting toward local facilities near the front lines, the strike on a power plant in Kyiv on September 8 signaled that Moscow may once again escalate against critical national infrastructure. Energy companies, government officials, and independent experts all anticipate intensified attacks as winter sets in. Russia has refined its strategy since the first waves in late 2022. Initially focusing on substations, Moscow has moved on to direct strikes against power plants themselves, using both cruise missiles and swarms of kamikaze drones. More recently, Ukrainian officials report that Russia is prioritizing natural gas extraction facilities, which supply backup generators and heating systems during crises. Ukraine's energy firms have poured hundreds of millions of euros into repairs and resilience. DTEK, the nation's largest private energy company, spent more than €105 million, about $124 million, between January and July 2024 to restore damaged thermal plants. Thanks to international assistance, Kyiv has managed to restore roughly 80% of critical energy infrastructure ahead of the upcoming winter. European development banks have also provided substantial loans and grants to replenish Ukraine's gas reserves, which had fallen to their lowest level in over a decade. Officials say the country now has sufficient coal stockpiles to operate thermal plants and is on track to meet its gas storage goals. On September 11th, the Ministry of Energy announced additional measures, including stockpiling fuel and equipment while coordinating with the military to shield facilities from air raids. Authorities are also investing in decentralized generation. By year's end, distributed power capacity is expected to reach 380 megawatts, enough to supply around 400,000 households for an hour. Small gas turbines, mobile diesel units, and solar systems with storage are being deployed to ensure hospitals, water systems, and heating networks can continue operating even if parts of the national grid are destroyed. Despite these preparations, Ukraine faces a critical weakness: insufficient air defenses to protect every site. Russia launches 20, 30, even 40 drones and missiles at a single target simultaneously. It's nearly impossible to defend everything, admitted DTEK CEO Maxim Timchenko. Experts warn that intensified Russian strikes on gas facilities and power plants could leave major cities facing daily blackouts and heat shortages. Moscow is also expected to strike substations and fuel depots deep behind the front to create strategic shocks that ripple nationwide. With less than a month until winter, many above-ground components, such as transformers, still lack promised protective structures. The Ministry of Energy is ramping up electronic warfare and air defense systems, but Russia has multiplied its drone output, overwhelming Ukraine's already stretched defenses. The difference between controlled outages and a full-blown humanitarian crisis will depend on how fast Ukraine receives spare parts, backup equipment, and above all, air defense systems and ammunition, noted Elena Lepenko of the Dixie Group.